Well, hello, you guys. What's up, hookers? I have a wonderful new project for you. This awesome padded stitch here is super easy to do and it works up really fast. Okay, so if you're into hand warmers, this is definitely another video that you are going to enjoy. You could probably finish these in about maybe 2 or 3 hours, depending on how fast of a crocheter you are. I used a 4.25 millimeter hook. This is the best size for me because I have small hands and small wrists. So it works good for me. Of course, you know, if you have a bigger hand or you're making this for someone who has a slightly larger hand or wrist, then you may want to gauge up and go to a 5 or a 5.5 millimeter, maybe even a 6. Of course, it's going to be a slightly looser weave. With the 4.25, it's nice and snug, but it's not tight. Okay, so what you're going to do is, to start this project, is to chain 23, and then we're going to slip stitch into the slip knot for a total of 24 stitches, and so we can have our nice clean seams in here, and you can't even really tell where it's joined at for the next colors. So go ahead and grab whatever colors you would like, grab the hook of your choice, chain 23, and I'll meet you back here to close the chain row. Okay, with your chain of 23, you're going to slip stitch into the slip knot that you made in the very beginning. Now your tail should hang out at the bottom, just like this. And then your main yarn is going to be up at the top like this. So you're going to chain 2 and half double crochet all the way around. Until you get to the very last stitch. Right here, and then you're going to needle close your row. Alrighty, so to close your foundation row, you're going to come up to the first half double crochet you made. Here's your chain 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to pull your yarn through just like that a little bit so you have enough to weave through. Okay, so in your first half double crochet, not the chain 2, but the first stitch you made here, you're going to insert your needle, pull it through, come back down the last stitch you were making, okay, so you can tighten up the bottom later. I usually wait a little while to do this because the pull of the other yarn tends to even this out, and then I sew it up in the very end. But in order to keep it secure, go ahead and tie it a little bit, and then we will join our next row, which is the first row. Okay? Okay, so for row 1, you're going to come up in any stitch that you would like, pull up a loop, and chain 1. Now this counts as your first single crochet for row 1. Then what you're going to do is skip the next stitch, and then we're going to double crochet 3 times in the following stitch. So it's single crochet, skip, 3 double crochet. Okay, and then it's skip, single crochet, skip, 3 double crochet. And you're going to follow this pattern around. Single crochet, skip, 3 double crochet, skip, single crochet, skip, 3 double crochet, skip. And then you're going to needle close your row, and we'll start round 2 with another color if you would like. All right, so we have reached the end of row 1, and we're going to close that row. So pull up your yarn just a little bit for a tail. Pull it through. All right, and skipping this chain 1, which counts as your first single crochet, you're going to come up in the first double crochet of your little group of 3 here and insert your needle. Back down through the stitch you were just finishing. All right. And there you have row 1. Okay, so go ahead and tie off row 1. Make sure your yarns are nice and snug so that you have a secure stitch to start your other row with. Okay, so grab your other color and we're going to start row 2. Okay, so you have your row 1 finished, and now we're going to do row 2. So what you're going to do is you have these little groups of 3 double crochets. So in one of the groups, any group, just come up in the middle of one group of 3, pull up a loop, chain 1, and like the previous row, this counts as a single crochet. Then what you're going to do is come to this single crochet right here, and you're going to do 3 front post double crochets around this single crochet right here. So inserting your hook in the front, follow through with 3 double crochets, front post double crochets. And then you have your first little padded cluster. Okay, then after that, you're going to come to your next set of 3 double crochets, and you're going to single crochet in the middle one. And then you're going to skip the last crochet, double crochet in your group of 3. And then once again, you're going to front post double crochet around the next single crochet. And you're going to front post double crochet 3 times, just like the first cluster. All right, and then follow this stitch around. So it's single crochet in the middle of a group of 3 double crochets, front post treble crochet 3 times around the next single crochet. Then you're going to skip 1 double crochet, single crochet in the middle double crochet, skip the last one of the group of 3, and then once again you're going to follow through with 3 front post double crochets, and just keep doing this pattern all the way to the end, and then we'll close your row. Alrighty, so we have reached the end of row 2, and then we're going to close it up. So pull your yarn through. And I realize that doing this needle close takes a little extra time, but believe me, your crochet turns out so much different when you use this technique. Okay, so here's your chain 1, which counts as a first single crochet, and then we're going to put our needle in the very first double crochet of the row right next to the chain 1 stitch, and then we're going to close our row just like the other rows. And then once you do this a lot of times, it just becomes like, routine. It's normal. Okay, and then you're going to obviously tie that off so it's nice and tight, or secure, not tight, but secure. And then we're going to start row 3. So grab another color, and I'll meet you in just a second. Alrighty, so with your, excuse me, with your next color, it's going to be the same thing basically as row 2, except instead of coming up in the double crochets, you're going to come up in the front post double crochets. But the idea is basically the same. So insert your hook in the middle of any group of 3 front post double crochets, chain 1, okay, and then skip the next front post double crochet, and then you're going to do 3 front post double crochets around the next single crochet. Sorry, I went out of frame there for just a second. Okay, so it's the same thing. Then you're going to do a single crochet in the middle of the 3 DCs. And then you're going to follow through with 3 front post double crochets in the next single crochet. And then once you're done with row 3, you're just going to continue this same concept for every row afterward, okay? And then when it reaches to the length that you want, then you're going to make your thumb hole. So I'll show you guys how to make your thumb hole on the next round for this tutorial. So to start the rows for the thumb hole, like on this one here, we have 2 rows of half double crochet. Okay, so all you have to do this is to just pick up a loop in any stitch, really. Whoops. Chain 2. And then this counts as your first half double crochet. And then you're just going to follow through with a double crochet in each stitch all the way, a half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. Whoops, I keep going out of frame there. I moved my camera position and I haven't adjusted to where it is yet. Okay, so finish your half double crochets, close your row, do 1 more row exactly the same. So remember, when you close your row, you're going to close it in the first half double crochet, not your chain 2, okay? So once you finish 2 rows of half double crochet, we'll start the row for the thumb hole. Okay, so in any stitch, I only did 1 row for tutorial's sake. Now, if you want to do the 2 rows of half double crochet before you make your row for the thumb hole count, then that's cool. If you don't want to, that's fine too. It just depends on what you like. Okay, so but for tutorial's sake, I'm just going to do the 1 row. So what you'll do is come up in any loop or any stitch and chain 2. And then you're just going to half double crochet a few stitches. Okay. So that's enough stitches. Now what you're going to do is, I generally count 5 stitches because that's how much room I need for my thumb. You may need a stitch less or a stitch more depending on your size or whoever you're making it for. So basically, however many stitches you skip is how many stitches you want to chain. So I'm going to chain 5. And then I'll skip 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just follow through with your half double crochets all the way around, or whatever. If you chose single crochet, that's fine too. And then you're just going to close your row, and generally I'll add 1 more row up at the top so it's a little more secure. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I do hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you hookers on the next project. Okay, hasta.